I walk down into the basement of a retired factory. Its windows are boarded up, the walls of the stairway are stained. Through a door at the bottom of the stairwell, Terry Grohlman is practicing with his band, Drop 32. The band rents a jam space here to practice their music, but for Terry, it's a second home.
I personally kind of live here half the time. I've brought half of my old apartment worth of furniture into this place, so we basically hang out, play video games, do whatever we want to, really. I do a lot of essay writing here.
The space is a little bigger than a double garage and is cluttered with speakers, posters, and more instruments than you can count. Drop 32 and two other groups chip in to cover rent, about $600 a month. Altogether, there are 25 spaces just like Terry's packed into this building, and they can hear each other through the walls when they aren't playing. Later on, I get Terry to take me on a tour of this massive place. It's weird, I don't think people know this place exists.
Yeah, London's not really letting people know about everything that's going on. It all kind of happens in underground pockets all over the place. It's like this one.
But this building wasn't always such a lively music spot. Up some stairs and down a tall, narrow hallway full of band rooms, David Steele has been renting his space for a different reason for over 15 years. He has a degree in history.
From my standpoint as a historian, it's a cool building. I mean, it's got such a mix of old and stuff, and you can still see some of how it was used. So I just find it fascinating myself.
Steele's room is clustered with cabinets and parchment. At the back is an early 1900s cast iron printing press, which is his hobby and passion. He's using it to make Christmas cards.
This particular machine has a lever that actually engages it, and then that's it pressing right there.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Holding a 4x8 card with a stylized Christmas tree in his hand, Steele says he has been hearing more and more bands while he does his printing, but he doesn't mind the music, for the most part.
Yeah, I've had a number of bands next door, and only one of them has ever bothered me.
Really?
So most of them I couldn't tolerate or enjoy. And then there was one, it's like, no, not my style. So that's not too bad. I even got a CD from the one band that was in there.
Those bands pay their rent to Tom Bitts, the owner of the building. It's one of his various enterprises. He also owns a motocross track and has been a contractor for the city doing snow removal. To get to his office in the basement, you first walk through what he calls his lounge. It's huge, 2 rooms painted black with a stage at one end, a bar off to the side, and a motorcycle mounted on the wall. There are 4 life-size concrete statues of lions. One of them is wearing a sombrero, and there's lots of great art on the walls.
I try to support the artists and the bands, which is part of the reason I built this place, my own personal place, the way I did. So we have artwork from local artists in the building, and we have bands play on my stage that are from the building. I try and support them as they support me.
This mutual support was started by Tom's father, Martin Bitts, who bought the building while it still worked as a factory for tobacco wrapping machines back in 1959. When the factory closed 11 years later, his dad set up a law practice and rented out extra space to local businesses. He was approached by a few bands looking for a place to jam, and the thing started to take off. A few years after his father passed away in 2002, Tom purchased the family building.
When I bought the place, it was half empty, and the phone was ringing, and it was band guys. Because the phone calls kept coming in, I decided that this was something that I would tool up and provide.
And bands are filling up Tom's rooms just as fast as he can make them. The 45,000 square foot building is now full to capacity. And back in his jam space, Terry Grohlman says he wouldn't change anything.
No, I love it just the way it is. I feel really lucky to have ended up in this place, and I don't think I would change anything. That would be risky.
For CHRW News, I'm Jacob Kuehn.